Hey guys, welcome. This is the seventh and final in the Chakra Tune-Up series. So we'll focus on the crown chakra today, seventh chakra, located really just above the crown of the head. You'll want to have a block or even just a couple pillows. We're going to start in a supported legs up the wall. So anything that'll help to elevate your hips. So go ahead, lie down. And whether you're using block or pillows, you can just bend your knees, lift your hips, slide that underneath for support. And you just really want to make sure that it's up under your hips, right? Low enough so that it's down from your low back. And you might, I find especially if I'm using the block that the lowest setting is a nice place to be because it's more supportive. And then bring your knees in and extend your legs up to the ceiling. And if you have a regular wall, but if you want to do this at the wall and that's easy and handy, right, you can do that as well. Sometimes this is just nice if you don't have wall space nearby. And just bring your arms down by your sides. See if you can find the place with your legs where there's not a ton of effort, but just a little bit more float. You might have to move the block or pillows around a little bit. And if this isn't working for hamstrings or low back, or if it just feels like a lot of strain right off the bat, you can bring your feet down and stay just in a supported bridge. The idea here is to get the head below the heart. Inversions are great poses for seventh chakra, for crown chakra. Right? Inversions and meditation, they're two great things that we can do, and we'll do a little of today. And we often think of inversions as like headstand, handstand, forearm balance, and those are great. Right? But really, any pose we get head below heart is inversion. We're bringing that energy up to the crown. And so we'll work with some today like this, and down dog, and right, forward folds that help to bring energy in that direction. The crown chakra really is that connection to the greater power, whatever you call it, however you connect with it, right? But that which is outside of ourselves, the universe or God or spirit. What does it mean to you? What is that connection? And how do we put our faith and our trust in that? The color here is white, or sometimes visualized as purple, as we just resonate with one a little bit more than the other. And the sound, the mantra for this is Om. So go ahead, just take a couple more breaths here, settle into a nice steady rhythm. And then we'll move slowly. Whenever coming up from inversion, it's really nice to move slowly, let the blood flow get back down to the legs as well. So it helps to balance that out. So no quick movements needed. You can slide your support out. And then just bring your legs into your chest, take a hold behind your knees, give a little rock. And then we're going to come from here to a standing forward fold. So depending on how you feel, you can roll to your side and press up, or you could roll back and forth a couple times along your spine, or just one big roll forward, come all the way standing forward fold. I find it's often nice at the beginning of a practice to start with feet hip width, give you a little bit more stability and space. And you might even take a little or a big bend in your knees as the hamstrings warm up. And then go ahead, take a hold of opposite elbows like ragdoll. Strengthen through your legs to really press down into your feet. Hug your inner legs together. And then just let your upper body get heavy, especially your head. You might even shake your head a little bit, yes and no, so that you're really releasing the weight of your head. So it creates some traction along the spine. We free up that space for the spinal fluid to move, but also really just for the energy to move, right? Well, down, but really up here towards the crown of the head. Take a couple of breaths there, and then we'll find a little movement with it. Okay, keep the legs really strong and rooted. And you're going to keep holding onto your elbows and take big circles with your upper body. So as you inhale, circle around to your right, slowly come all the way up. And then as you exhale, circle down to your left, hinge at your hips, come back into forward fold. Okay, rooted strong through your feet. Inhale to your right, big circle around, come up. And then exhale down and over to the left. Good. Inhale. Right, go slowly again because we're coming from that inversion all the way up. Exhale, come down. And then we're just going to switch directions, do 3 to the other side. Inhale, swing to your left, circle around, come up. Right, feel that strength and support of your legs, and then come down. Really nice to find that support when we're in the inversions to your left. And if you went the other direction, doesn't matter, just do both sides. Come all the way down. And then one more to your left, come on up. And to your right to come down. Good. Pause again, just a breath here. Crown of your head down towards the ground. And release your elbows with strong legs and a straight spine. Inhale slowly. Come all the way up. Good. Bring your hands together at your heart. And then as you press down into your feet, now stand taller. Think crown of your head up towards the ceiling, like a little string pulling it up. And then shoulder blades back and down. Keep that length through your neck. Good. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Keep your spine long. Exhale, fold forward. Again, maybe bend knees a little bit if that feels better. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, and then pause. You could have hands to shins or mat or even thighs. But as you press down into your feet, stretch the crown of your head forward so we're keeping that length now along the spine. Good. Next, exhale, fold back in. Step your left foot back, low lunge. Right, find a little inner leg strength as you squeeze in and some tone through your belly so there's some support. It's not just resting on your thigh. And stretch your left heel back and then extend the crown of your head forward. Right, so sometimes it's the inversion that we're really getting the energy moving there. Sometimes it's just adapting the pose where we want to bring the attention. Take another breath in. You can always have blocks under your hands here too for a little bit more support. And then exhale, bring your front leg to or towards straight for this long pyramid pose. This is another great place for blocks. Right, and then hug your legs in and let the crown of your head soften down towards the ground. See if you can keep shoulders away from ears. So you're just drawing shoulder blades up and in. So the neck is long and the head is heavy. Good. Inhale, lengthen forward again, bend your front knee. Exhale, step back, high plank. Good. Get strong through your hands, so spread wide and root through fingertips, tone through your belly. Inhale. And then exhale, up and back, down dog. Good. Take a few breaths in this first down dog. Stay strong through your hands. And then as you press your hands down and forward, lengthen your hips up and back. Let your head get heavy. Right, down dog is such a great inversion, and we do it so often in practice. We don't always think about it as having the same benefits as like, right, big handstands. Okay, with your next inhale, lift to your toes, bend your knees, and then walk, step, or hop. Feet to hands, come to front of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips with strong legs. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Reach up, inhale. Long spine, fold forward, exhale. Lift halfway. Again, then just take that little pause. Root feet and really stretch the crown of your head forward as you lengthen your tailbone back. Good. Exhale, fold, step your right foot back, low lunge. Right. Again, you might grab blocks underneath your hands. Sometimes that little bit of support is nice. And then squeeze your legs into center. Keep that, but press your right heel back. Tone your belly, and then lengthen the crown of your head forward. So you feel really stretched long from your back heel all the way out through the top of your head. Inhale. And then exhale, front leg to or towards straight, just depending on range of motion. And let the top of your head hang. Right, so the legs are still really supportive, so the upper body can soften. Bring shoulder blades in towards your spine and up towards your waist. So neck is long, head extended. Good. Lift halfway, inhale. And then you can set your blocks off to the side. Step back, down dog, exhale. Inversion. Right, really root through hands. Keep your spine long as you lengthen your hips up and back. And then even find a little tone through your belly and your front ribs as you soften your chest back and really let your head get heavy. And next, inhale, reach your left leg up and back. Exhale, step all the way through. And then pivot your feet to the long end of your mat. Just take a moment to parallel out through your legs, well, your feet, so your feet are pointing straight forward, and then fold in. Right? You might even have a little softness in your knees here, but keep your legs strong as you press into your feet and then squeeze your kneecaps up. Okay. And then you're going to take your hands, interlace your hands behind your neck. Point your elbows straight back. And then let your hands and the weight of your arms be like traction for the neck. Sometimes I even like to rub the heels of the hands into the neck. And think about lengthening the crown of your head down towards the ground. You can bring to mind color or sound. And as we bring the energy and attention there to cultivate that connection. Good. And then release your hands. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen forward. Keep that right, nice long spine. And then as you exhale, walk your hands to the front of your mat. Pivot your feet, take a big step forward. Bring your hands to your hips. Press down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Nice and slow after the inversions. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Stand tall. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hinge, fold forward. Lift halfway, lengthen your spine. This time, walk your hands forward so they're underneath your shoulders. Again, you can keep a little softness in knees if that feels better. And then take your left hand to the center of your mat. Here's another great place for a block if you want a little bit more height. Right hand to your hip. Right, squeeze your legs in. And then lengthen tailbone back, crown of your head forward. Feel that space. Right, keep that. Exhale, twist to your right. And you can keep your hand to your hip, right? Really, we're working the length of the spine, or you can reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Good. Root through your feet, lengthen your spine, and then roll your ribs up. Right? And so it just becomes an easing into the twist, no forcing. But the length all the way out through the crown of the head sets up a little bit more space for the twist. Good. Next, inhale, unwind. Exhale, fold all the way in. Halfway lift, inhale. Walk your hands forward and then right hand to the center, right underneath your nose, left hand to your hip. Right. Hug your legs in so you get that stability to midline. Lengthen the crown of your head forward and then roll your ribs to your left. Right. Hand to hip or reach your arm up. Sometimes it's even nice to reach back, feel where your sacrum is, feel like it's level. Right. Root down. Lengthen your spine. Crown extends forward, and then twist. Right. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step back, plank pose. Take a couple of breaths in plank. Tone through your belly and see if you can create that same length here as you press your heels back and extend the crown of your head forward. Press down into your hands and traction the heels of your hands back to help support your belly. Full breath in. And then exhale, both knees down to the mat, tabletop. Okay, we're going to set up for dolphin pose from here. So let's find like a little bit nicer supported inversion to get to in the span of 20 minutes. And then bring your forearms down to your mat. Interlace your hands. And I like to tuck the little pinky in so there's just a broader base instead of one little pinky hanging out for all the weight. Stack your elbows right under your shoulders. Root through your forearms, and then inhale, lift your hips up. All right, so just like down dog on forearms, great inversion. And then bend your knees just a little bit and walk your feet in towards your elbows. And keep rooting down through your forearms. And you can look back at your toes or look forward at your thumbs. All right, just be mindful that your head's not resting on the ground so there's no weight on your neck. Right, maybe your feet walk in just a little more. Traction your forearms down and forward, send your chest back. And then you can stay here or lift your right leg up and back. And keep your hips level, your back leg's strong. So you roll your inner right thigh up. Full breath in. And then exhale, right foot down. Inhale, left leg up, straight and strong. Flex your foot. Roll your inner left thigh up. Again, traction your elbows down and forward. Send your chest back. Breath in. Exhale, both legs down. One more inhale. And then exhale, child's pose. Bring your knees down. You can stretch your arms forward. Take a couple of breaths. And then walk your hands back a little bit. So you want to go ahead and bring your inner legs together with your toes still tucked under. And then come back down, reach back for your heels, right? You can start with your forehead down to your mat. This is a fun little one, rabbit pose, that really brings energy to the crown of the head. We just don't do all that much, or most people don't do all that much in practice. Right, so you're going to keep your hands to your heels, lift your hips a little bit, and roll onto the crown of your head. Right, but stay really strong through your legs. So the goal is not to just be putting a ton of weight onto the top of your head, but to just rest really gently. And that often means the legs are strong for support. And you can find a little traction from your hands to your heels, tone your belly, and just take a couple of breaths. Bring about color or sound. How do we bring the attention to the crown? Good. Come all the way back. And then just let your forehead rest. So you're in child's pose, but with your knees together, sometimes called embryo pose. And then walk yourself back. Come all the way up. And go ahead, find a seat. So if you want something to sit upon, a block, a blanket, and we'll take just the last few moments in a seated meditation. Great for cultivating that connection at the crown of the head. And so wherever you're at, sit tall. Find that space, that length that we created through the spine. Turn your palms up. Just a really nice gesture of receiving, as opposed to grounding the energy down. So we're trying to stay open. Bring your attention up to that space all the way at the top of the head. And if you think about white or purple, which color really just resonates with you? And then you can silently repeat to yourself that sound of Om. What is your connection to that which is outside of ourselves, the universal, the spirit. And how do we put a little bit more trust in that? Right? That doesn't mean we give it all up. I think about it like co-creating with the universe, with spirit, but that there is that element of being in that space where we can let go a little, where we know that we don't have to control everything. And sometimes we can just allow things to unfold as they do. I think when we are connected, when we are in tune with that, it can free up a little bit of the burden. Take a few more breaths here. And then as you're ready, bring your hands together at your heart. Lift heart to hands and bow in head to heart. Thank you guys so much for sharing the practice. Namaste.